Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to my reading corner. Hope you're doing well. I know I've made a lot of videos lately, but I've had more time. I've been at home a bit more. Like I'm on a study day again. We're going away tonight. Tonight we was going to go away tonight. We're going away tomorrow night instead. I think that's kind of. I would have rather have gone tonight, but I feel like I've got a few bits I can. Well, I've got a nice day planned tomorrow, so. Well, in the morning I plan on doing a bit of reading, maybe having a bit of toast and a brew. Well, having a reading and a brew. I've got counselling. I'm having counselling with a family counsellor, so it's going really well actually. I feel like this week's been a bit tough. I don't really talk much about mental health on my channel as much as I used to, or as I have done in the past. But I got offered family counselling from the school, so I decided to take it. So I'm having that, and it's quite interesting. I'm finding it really helpful. I did have counselling back end of last year as well, which helps. But I feel like this is helping more from the family aspect than from personal counselling. So I've got that. I want to get my head shaved because I feel like I hate having more hair on the side of the head than anywhere else. But yeah, so at least I'm getting my money's worth this time. So that's that. Get my beard trimmed and all that ready for the holiday. So that'll be nice. And I'm having lunch with my mum. I'm going to treat her to lunch somewhere. I feel like I didn't really do much with her on Mother's Day because I didn't see her on Mother's Day because my son always ends up there on the weekends. I don't have him, so then I feel like, well, I'm not going to I want to see my mum and spend time with my mum and my dad, and not entertain my son. Not that I don't want to see my son, but I need that kind of. I'll go full bore when I've got him. So why should I go full bore when it's not my turn to have him? When I'm trying to do martial arts twice a week, and I'm trying to watch him at martial arts twice a week, and I'm taking him away and stuff, and I'm sure I'll be having time off in summer with him as well. So, and I'm taking the park. I'm picking up from school tomorrow and taking him to the park. So I've got like a nice day planned before we go away. Although I've got to pack as well, yeah, and I hate packing for holiday. Look, I love all the like phone charger and headphones and toiletries and books, but when it comes to clothes, I'm like, oh, that'll do. How many pairs of box? Oh, that'll do. So yeah, so I've got that to do. So yeah, that's my plan for tonight and tomorrow. Really, well, that's my plan for tomorrow and then packing tonight. But I might just pack tomorrow because really I know I have a good idea what I'm taking. T-shirt wise, I've got a good idea what clothes I'm taking. Trousers and jeans and stuff, and shoes. So I'm not taking too much because don't want to take no pants, but like trousers and stuff in case it's cold. But yeah, so looking forward to that. But I plan my books. I'm doing a quick Friday reads as well, weekend reads, because it's weekend coming up and I feel like I need to discuss what I'm actually planning on reading. So I've got a couple of books on. Well, I've got I'm going to add a caveat to this. I've got quite a few books. I've got quite a few books on the go at the minute. So I've got I've got Noam Chomsky that I've not got to. I've got Glass House I put down because I just couldn't. I didn't feel like I was giving it the full focus it needed. I've got George Louis Borges. Last time I tried reading him, I really struggled with the story I was reading. I just put it down. I was even trying to read it aloud to try and really get that focus, but I just couldn't. So I've just put those to one side, and I'm not taking either of those. I mean, Glass House isn't too bad to take because it's only a small book to take, so I could take that. It wouldn't take up much room if I did, but I don't think I'd get to it. I feel like I'd need maybe a day to myself and just have the quiet at home and just read it without my son running around and stuff, or being knackered after running around with him. So I feel like that is a book that fully needs my focus. So I'm leaving those here. But I'm taking a couple. Obviously, I'm going to take books with me. But yeah, I'm just going to mention like one book I plan on reading tomorrow morning before I I have my counselling before I pack, before I do whatever. Just because I don't want to take this book, just because literally I'm reading like a column a week, so it's literally tomorrow will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. So I'd be literally taking that size book for read 5 pages. So I'm going to read that tomorrow morning as the first thing I read. Yeah, so I'm just going to read that tomorrow morning. So I'm reading that. So and then I am taking a book that I'm currently reading, but I'm going to show what I'm currently reading. And by currently reading, I mean actively trying to work my way through reading chapters of it, whereas I've not picked the other one up for a while. So anyway, so yeah, I'm reading Hamun-Rai, so I'm hoping to finish this tomorrow, but I could be tempted to finish it tonight, really, depending on how much time I get. I've got a lot to do studying wise and stuff, so I've got 180 pages left, so I don't think I could I possibly could do it tonight, but I feel like it'd be pushing myself to too much, when I could just get to where my aim is to read 15-page chapters a day, with that. So with this, I mean, I've been planning to read 80 pages after with that, so I think I'll read 80 pages and then finish it tomorrow. I'd like to read both of them tomorrow, so I'm not taking that and I'm not taking that, just because then especially, I don't know, say for instance this one and I go, right, okay, tomorrow I'm going to read, I don't know, let me see where my quota ends, sorry. Going off on a tangent again, I know, but I just wondered, I was intrigued and I had to check. So yeah, 246 I'd be up to, and so I'd probably have around 100 pages left. So if I read 70 pages, it'd feel like a waste taking it for 30 pages, but if that's where I get up to, that's where I get up to. But that's Hamun-Rai by Charles Bukowski. I'm reading his Chinansky novels now, in publication order, so that's why I started with Hamun-Rai. So yeah, that's that. So I'm hoping to finish that Friday, or take it and finish it. And then next up, I'm also reading Andy Weir. I said I was reading 2 chapters. We're reading 3 chapters now. Not saying anything about that. So yeah, but I'm enjoying this. I feel like I got into Project Hail Mary more than I have this so far, but I'm finding it really interesting so far. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm on chapter 4. I didn't read it yesterday, so I need to read 3. So I'm planning on finishing my quota in that and reading 6 chapters in this. But I can't wait to sit down and read this later. So that's that. And then I'm just going to mention also Lords of Chaos. I'm not sure where I'm up to with that. I feel like I just need to drop it off at the library and then either decide to think about it and decide to pick it up and carry on from where I am, or whether to just DNF it. I think I would like to finish it so I never have to read it again, but I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I feel like it's just too much ideology about Satanism and the occult, and I want to know about, bands, where they came from, like where are they from, what sort of music they played, or what influences they had, or different aspects of that, rather than, where they first played live, where they came from, maybe if, like, I don't know, say for instance one band member was in that band and then another band member was in that band, and then, or whatever, more that interest, like, when they were born and what have you, and, that sort of thing, more than church burnings and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it happened, and yeah, it's part of black metal history, yeah, I get that, but it just feels a bit shoved down my throat at the minute with it, so I'm not sure about that. The annoying thing is, the first few chapters were like, this is brilliant, this, and then it just, especially like Varg Vikernes, I'm not sure if that's pronounced right, his his chat when he's talking, it's very heavy and it's very dense reading, and I'm just struggling with it. So I think I'm just going to throw it back in the library and then just say, right, okay, I can't read any more of that, or get it back out again and finish it. So that's that. So I'm not taking that either. So yeah, I'm not. So the only book I'm currently taking, the only book I'm hoping to take, I don't want to take that unless if I've got 50 or 60 pages, then fine. But if I've only got 30 pages, I don't really want to take it. But that's The Martian, so I'm definitely taking that to read 3 chapters a day. That'll probably try and read while I'm having my breakfast and stuff like that. Maybe a chapter while I'm having my breakfast, and then a chapter at tea or whatever. I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to read, but I want to take a few. Because I'm liking the idea of the serendipity of picking what I want to read, choosing at random. Like I went to my bookshelf before and I was going to get... I'll show you when I get to the book. But yeah, I was going to pick a different one and I picked another one. So I'm just enjoying, like, literally going, oh, actually, I'm going to read that. I've never had that before, and it's so exciting and kind of new. I mean, The Martian was planned because me and Wendy decided we was going to read that, so that's a bit different. And then Bukowski, I'm doing a Bukowski read, but I mean, I'm enjoying reading Bukowski. I'm enjoying doing the book reads with Wendy so far. So, you know, it's something something I want to keep on with. Like Bukowski, I want to go through all his works next year. Well, for start, is one a month. Anyway, that's a tangent. So yeah, so then I decided I'm going to take. I feel like this is a big book to take. Really, to be fair, but I feel like it's a good one to take because I want to finish volume 4 of the Books of Blood. So although I've not got that much in here to read, actually I think I've got quite a bit more than I anticipated, really. Yeah, I've probably got about 80 pages left of the first volume of Books of Blood. So I think I just kind of fancy taking that and then maybe reading a short story of this one night and one evening with a brew or a cider, just something like that, you know, or a beer, whatever. You know, I'm not fussing what I drink. I don't mind real ales and bitters and not so much, more real ales and stuff, but and lager, not so much anymore. But I can still drink it, and cider I like. But yeah, I like red wine, white wine, rosé a bit, but not preferably red. Anyway, that's a tangent. But yeah, I just thought like just chilling with that, and a book, that and a brew, or a drink of some description, whether it's alcoholic or not. So yeah, I just thought I'd take that just because I think I've got 3 stories left. So I thought, well, maybe that's just a nice little. Oh, I'll just read a story in that, read a story in, you know, like one story's really short, so once I read the longer story, the other one's quite short. So yeah, I just thought I'd take it. 'Cause I know it's a bit thick, but if I finish that volume, I can then read the next one over the next 4 months. So that's that. Craftwork. I still want to start this. I haven't started this yet. I may read the foreword tonight, and I can start it tomorrow. Because this is a book I'd like to get started and read because it quite interests me, but I feel like I want to listen to like Craftwork while I'm reading it, although I've got the option of listening to the audio book, but I think I'd prefer to listen to some Craftwork while I'm reading this. So that's that. But my plan was to read a chapter of this a day, to be fair, just because I fancied taking some non-fiction. So I feel like I've got like sci-fi novel, bit of non-fiction, so I'm taking Craftwork. There's just piling my books here that I actually want to take. So that's that. Obviously Books of Blood as well, so that's them 3. And then I was like, it's either Richard Lehman or The Road. And I was tempted by The Road, but I feel like I've read it so many times. And I was thinking, by reading The Road, and by reading The Road, I'm not reading anything. I'm not reducing my unread pile of books. So I decided to go for Among the Missing by Richard Lehman. Plus, I couldn't resist having a I like having a paperback that I can hold. Like, whereas that, like that, I mean, I can hold it in one hand, but it feels awkward, whereas that feels nice to hold. I mean, I do find Richard Lehman's just trashy horror. I kind of call it like, I don't know, like candy, you know, like watching reality TV to some people. Like, just they switch off, and you know, I just thought that'd be a fun read. And like I say, it reduces not only my Richard Lehman books I've got to read, but also my books as a whole, as that would, as that is as well. So yeah, I've not read any of those three, so that's a good. That's why I decided to go with that instead of The Road. Plus, like The Road, I feel like I could just pick up and read at any time, and I just thought, while away, I wanted to just read stuff I haven't read before. So and that's why I have read that before as well. So that's why I didn't want to take that. I was thinking about taking on writing, but I think I've got plenty what I'm taking, to be fair. And then I decided it was either between HHHH or The Silent Patient. Now, HHHH really interests me, but I decided against that for some just because I've had more recommendations for The Silent Patient, so I decided to read that. I've had 3 recommendations for this recently, so it's just kind of like it's been on my mind more, so I've decided to take this as well. So it sounds really interesting, this one as well, so that's why I picked that. So I feel like, and it looks quite fast-paced thriller kind of thing, although it is about 340 pages, it does look quite fast-paced. So that's that I'm taking. And then I was going to take, I was looking at my horror shelf. I might do a video on my horror shelf. I mean, I've not read everything on my horror shelf, so I can't really deep dive many books on it. But like, I was looking at it and I saw like Night of the Living Dead, which I've read before. The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, which I've read before as well. And I've seen a couple of like books I've read, like Locust by Guyan Smith, and Karnaki the Ghost Finder I've planned on reading before, and because I already had a short story collection I was reading, I thought, I've got a couple I'm reading at the minute, Labyrinths and Books of Blood. I decided to take Books of Blood because it's not saying it's the same vein, but it's still horror. I also looked at Slugs by Sean Hudson, but then I felt like, again, it's a book I've already read. Same with Night of the Living Dead and The Haunting of Hill House. So while I was looking at my horror shelf, I then noticed I had Richard Matheson's I Am Legend, and so it was only thin. So I thought, well, I'm going to take that. It's 160 pages. It's based on I'm not sure I've seen the film, and I don't think I have, but I'm quite looking forward to reading this. So yeah, I just literally picked that at random because I was like looking at my horror shelf and I was like, well, if I read Slugs, I've read Slugs before. If I read Night of the Living Dead, I've read that before. Whereas I've not read this, and it's a recent pickup. It's one of my recent pickups. So I thought, well, why not? So then every book I mean, The Martian's a library book, but it's a book I've not read before. So none of the books I plan on taking are actually I've ever read before. So I feel like that's quite an interesting book pile. I just fancy, like, you know, I really like with this like random serendipity and picking stuff at random. I'm really liking the fact that I'm aiming towards reading newer books to reduce that, because I mean that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books off my TBR that I've never read before. All right, 2 of them are recent pickups this year, but again, I have that caveat where if I buy a book this year, I'm reading it this year. I've read His Bloody Project, which was one of those. So yeah, so I feel like I'm gonna probably have to watch my videos again to remember what book hauls I've done and stuff like that. So then make a note of them and then see what I fancy out of out of listing them. So I'm just checking the time to see when I'm back on. I've got 15 minutes yet. I was planning reading, but I started looking at work stuff and then lost my head with it. I might try and do a bit of work before I go back in a minute. Not that you want to know that, but yeah. So because I'm feeling like, I can read what I want more than like planning stuff too strictly and stuff. Yeah, the Bukowski I feel like is fine with, and I'm like I say, I'm really enjoying reading the with Wendy reading the books. So I think to be honest with you, so yeah, with that I feel like, sorry, my email's going mad. Let me just close my emails. That's better. So with that being said, like, I like the idea of reducing these books. So I just noticed that says S. I don't know if you can see, but number 2. I don't know why it says number 2. Whether it's like there's a few of them in this SF Masterworks thing. But yeah, so I'm enjoying like going to my shelves. I mean, there's loads of books I want to reread, like The Road. I've read. I mean, this year I've read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson, Breakfast Champions by Kurt Vonnegut. I want to reread The Road by Matt McCarthy. Hammond Riser reread. Well, all these Chinansky novels are rereads. I want to reread Fight Club. I mean, I did think about Fight Club, but again, I thought about Fight Club, thought about Clockwork Orange, but I've read them, so I wanted to read something new. I wanted to, well, I like that what I've picked. I mean, I'm kind of tempted to leave Clive Barker at home, just because it's a big book to take for 80 pages, and I think that's quite a stacked read anyway. But then I feel like if I'm reading a chapter a day, that's not you know what I mean. That's not going to be much reading time for craft work. If I'm reading Richard Lehman, I don't think that'll take me much time at all, and that's 3 chapters a day. So I think that's enough there. To be fair, I think. But I do like the idea of either. I mean, Clive Barker Books of Blood. I mean, if I didn't have to do work after work, and I didn't have 35 minutes of studying practice questions to do. I've got loads of questions I need to do as well on that. That I want to do and take my time over as well. But I'm going to try and do them. I was going to do them in work, but I'm not going to be in work till Friday now. So, which is nice. So, yeah, I just feel like just putting my feet up and reading tonight. I should probably go for a walk 'cause it's a nice evening. But yeah. So my plan is for Friday reads is to read that in the morning. Clive Barker, Warren Ellis, Coming Alone. Just read that in the morning when I get up, so it's done. And then carry on with Ham on Rye to get to as far as I can get to on that. So, well, basically I want to get to where I want to get to on that. So I'm hoping to get to that point by about 6. Well, I'll finish studying probably finish everything I need to do by about 5. So I'm hoping by about 6:30 I'll have finished with Bukowski for the night, and then I can read some more. I'm tempted to maybe have a go at Lords of Chaos again before I take it back, because I think this next chapter's only short. So if I read that, then I might make my decision off that. But I think I'm going to throw it back in the library for now. I will finish it by the end of the year though. But yeah, back to Friday reads. So yeah, Coming Alone, my weekly column that I'm reading. I'm reading a column a week at that because it's 52. I'm aiming to read 15 chapters tonight, 13 chapters, finish it by the weekend. I feel like if I had time, I don't know, I'm quite tempted. I mean, I'm going away a few days, so if I read a short story a day, I think that'd be quite cool of this. So I'm going to try and read a story of this on Saturday, I think, or Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to read some Clive Barker this weekend, so I'm definitely taking that. Richard Matheson, I'm not sure, because basically those are my 3 novels that I'm taking. So obviously if I finish Ham on Rye, I'm gonna read 3 chapters a day of that at weekend as well, and then I'm gonna decide which I fancy. I mean, I may go for the horror. I may, that's only short. It's 160 pages. That's not. I don't think that's gonna take me that much time at all. So I could go with the horror vein and just go and work through those 3. I'd probably be tempted to read. I don't know. I'd probably be tempted to read that over those 2, but read that and then maybe decide to read that and then that. But yeah, I like that idea of having a bit of horror for a bit, horror and a thriller, and then over the weekend as well. I think I'm going to start this tonight because I literally, honestly, I plan on finishing my quota in that Martian. And then I think I'm going to read that short chapter in Lords of Chaos if I can face it. And if not, I think I'm just going to get into this and read a chapter of this instead. I kind of feel a bit awkward, actually, about that. Because I don't know whether now, I'm going off on a tangent again, I don't know whether to actually put Hamon Rye down, where I'm up to, read my quota in The Martian, read a chapter of Craftwork, and then I can just read that. And if I finish it tonight, I can read more of that tomorrow, or even better, I can finish my Books of Blood tomorrow, and then not take that, and then literally just have Richard Matheson, Richard Lehman, The Martian, and The Silent Patient to take with me, because I'll have finished a good chunk of books. But I feel like if I leave that behind, if I finish that tonight, I'm going out. Finish that tonight, and I read that tomorrow, so I wouldn't be taking either of those. Then what would I take in its place? Now that's given me a difficult choice, that really, because what would I take in its place? Well, then I'd probably take The Road or HHHH, and I'd probably go with HHHHH, just because I've not read it before. So that's that. So yeah. I've got 10 minutes now, so I'm going to go and read something for 10 minutes. No, I'm not. I'm going to do the work I need to do for my manager, and then I'll do the other work I need to do when I finish. I'm going to study, work, read. And I'm going to go for a walk, actually. Well, it sounds lazy. I don't actually want to go for a walk. I'm thinking of just going and getting there's a Starbucks not far away. I'm thinking of going there. I might have a walk there. I'm going and sit in the sun for an hour and read. I might do that. I like the idea of that, to be fair. I don't really want. Sorry, this is going off tangent. I'm going to finish this here, but yeah, I don't really want to go out for a beer, or I don't really want to go out for a Coke or something. I mean, a nice coffee would be nice, but then I'm trying to not drink coffee because I'm not sleeping as it is. So, yeah, so I feel like, I don't know, I could probably go for a McDonald's milkshake or something like that and sit outside with it and read, but it's more of a faff doing something like that than just going down the road. Or maybe just go and get a can of pop from the shop and have a walk to the shop, get a can of pop and come back with it, and then sit and read with it. I fancy a bag of crisps and a can of pop. That sounds quite nice. I've not had any dinner yet either. I probably should have got some dinner, but I don't know, I just never feel hungry, so... but yeah, anyway, that's what I'm taking. But yeah, if I read as much as I would like to, and finish Hamon Rye and read my quota of The Martian and read a chapter of Craftwork and read some Books of Blood tomorrow, then I feel like, well, I probably would take I keep saying Triple H because the 4H book by Laurent Binet. I'd probably take that over The Road, just because I feel like The Road I could just grab and read any time, whereas that I feel like could be interesting. Although I kind of fancy pairing 8 Minutes in May and HHHHH. I've got other books I can do with that, so I feel like I'm going to stick with that. So that's what I'm taking, that's what I'm doing, that's my plan. I'll probably do an update next week, what I actually read, stuff like that. But yeah, but now we're reading 3 chapters of The Martian. I'm not saying anything because I'm enjoying it. I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. I have a few ideas of books I'd like to read next. but we'll see what we decide. But yeah, that's my video anyway, and that's my holiday reads, weekend reads. Hope you're reading good things. Let me know what you're reading down below. If you read any of these, or if you have any recommendations. I am planning on buying a book while I'm away. I'm limiting myself to one book, because I feel like, well, I say limiting myself. I've been told I can get one book, but I feel like that's fine with one book. But I'm going off on a tangent again. But like, like last time I went away, I got I Want to Be Yours, which I started that day. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for, is to find something like, I've just got, because I'm touching that, so like that. I wanted to start on the day and I didn't. So yeah, that's that. Facts. So yeah, I've got 5 minutes now. I better get back. But yeah, so I just feel like I want to get something that I'll start that day and enjoy, or something like that. So I feel like that's what I'm kind of looking for, over just getting a book for getting its sake. But I do want to make a list of my books, like I've said before, which I will be doing. I'm not sure when to start, actually, because I could start tomorrow. I've got my laptop to do that, but I feel like maybe next week, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'll leave it that there, but I'll be online next week, probably Thursday again, just because I am at home Thursday on study. So I think I'll do another weekend reads and an update from what I've read from this week. So I'm hoping by then I'll have told you I've finished Hamon Rye and etc and etc. So anyway, I'll leave that here and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye guys.